Hey everybody, today we are exploring the pop-up camper Jayco 1406. All right, if you own a Jayco 1406, I'm sure you can immediately tell how much different the inside of this one is from possibly your own. We have done quite a bit of remodeling in it. We have done some painting, replaced curtains, recovered cushions, etc. And probably the biggest thing that you'll see is different is this whole cabinet right here is gone. We've pulled that out in favor of some extra space for things and that portable AC unit. Right here on the floor, I've put in some pipe that vents out so that the vent for the AC unit can just go to the floor and out towards the ground. Make it really easy, that way we don't have to do anything with the vinyl or the windows. We've got the magnet board here. Came over with all of our magnets from the old trailer. Moved the outlet from the cabinet that was here to that wall. Put in some boards over the cabling for the lift for the roof. And then just some sheets there, new curtains. And that right there is, that was my oops. Whoopsie. Recovered the cushions here. And this area is pretty much the same, except for the stove. We actually don't use the propane stove in here, so we pulled that out. Saves a little bit of weight, and put this holder on it to be able to throw in a bunch of junk. All of the cabinets have been painted, and the hardware was painted. It's the original hardware, just decided to paint over it. Over here, we've got our microwave, and I put in one of these deep outlets, so that way when we're getting up onto the bed, we're not having to worry about hitting our legs on it as much. Curtains are the same the whole way around, and we really like the theme that we went with for it. The cushions for the dinette have been recovered in some black vinyl, and under the bed it's actually got 2 storage compartments. We hold our games and stuff and our life jackets under them, so that way they're out of the way for only when we need them. These cabinets are almost all the way as deep as the wall, so you can store quite a bit of stuff in there. It does have the furnace if you had your propane hooked up. That way you can kick that on cold nights. We hang our TV, it's a little bit of a smaller one, off of one of the top bars, and then just run a cable down to our phones to play off of that. Added in the smoke detector. There is a little bit of storage down here by the water tank, and if you got one of these trailers, you'll see that the box there is no longer there. I covered that up and changed out for a different setup. All right, so this is the reason why you keep those bars on there. You can see the top is bent. The entire bar that goes out is twisted on there, and that was a mistake. I was getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, so I was in a hurry as I was getting eaten alive, and just pulled the beds out, threw the canvas up, etc. Didn't think twice about it, and ended up not putting those front bars on. And over the course of the evening, as my daughter was sleeping on it, it twisted downward and bent that bar. So it is what it is, and we'll get that fixed eventually. But for those of you that have a pop-up, let that be a reminder to you, a lesson from me, that those bars need to go on no matter what, or else you'll bend something. Whoopsie. On the driver's side of the trailer, We've got everything for your 30 amp hookups, your water inlet to your tank. Interestingly, this top one here next to the vent, that's the outlet for the sink, and that's the inlet. Interesting direction that they put those on there. The tandem axle was a huge draw for me for this particular trailer because it's a lot more stable driving down the road. Speaking of stable, it has these flip down jacks on each corner, and I ended up just using a ground down piece of rebar to put in the holes for those to be able to push those down. Of course, you've got your flip latches, and the previous owner put these boards in here to make sure that if there was any potential issues with the top of this trailer falling down, it's just going to hit those boards. You don't have to worry about it. It has one outside storage compartment here in the back, which we use for our camp chairs and a slow kids at play sign, which ironically is not out right now, but be able to store all sorts of stuff in there. You could put some soccer balls, basketballs, etc. in there. Has the outside light, which I changed out to a orange bulb, as well as some outlets. You having fun? Good. Now this here, something we don't really utilize, but you can bring that dinette table, put it here, and then you can take the stove from the inside and set it to the outside. And that port right here, this is a propane hose that you can use to hook that stove up, so you can do some cooking on the outside. That step goes into the frame. This whole thing moves, of course pops off while I'm doing the video, but you got these two holes it goes into and supports your weight just fine. Two propane tanks on the front with the battery, and this was part of my oops from last night that you saw a second ago. I forgot to put these bars on. That was a big oops. I mentioned on the outside that it has a 30 amp hookup. I had to run a breaker box wire to this outlet at 15 amps, and then I have the other outlets in the trailer on the other 15 amp breaker, and that allows me to run this AC unit by itself on this outlet. I don't have to worry about pulling too much power from one breaker. The water hookup on it, it drains out to this adapter, and that I have a hose that goes to one of those portable gray water tanks, or I guess black water tanks. But that I'm actually going to make a change to have an onboard gray water tank, and that allows me to be able to have a little bit more flexibility, being able to use the onboard freshwater tank. So it is a pretty well featured trailer, being that it's got the two propane tanks and the stove that can go in and out, the electric that's available for it, the water that's available for it. Really, the only thing that this thing is missing is a bathroom, which we use one of those pop-up shower tents and a portable toilet. I did a review on one of those portable toilets a little bit back, and I'll link that as well. So just a little shameless plug there. It's a really nice trailer. It is big enough for my family of 6. Granted, it's not something that is too cramped or too spacious either, so it works for us to be able to go on these outings and have somewhere nice to sleep. And I'll follow up on how this pop-up works after a year of use or so, and we'll do a full follow-up review in that video. If you've got a pop-up, let us know in the comments down below what you've got and how well that's worked out for you. It's always nice to see the feedback from viewers for the kind of trailer that they have and if they've enjoyed it or not. This particular one we tow behind our GMC Acadia, and it tows great with the V92 tow package, and the acceleration, the stopping and everything. It has been no problems at all. So we hope you join us for more adventures to come. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll catch you on another adventure. See ya.